starter of KIWradio.com. That's KIWradio.com. We do sketch comedy on there. It's hilarious. There's music on there too, and that is what puts this show together. So, round of applause, everybody. Keep your hands together, put your hands together for my very good friend, Rick Jean.
Keep it going for Jen Navarro. And how about another hand for everybody you've seen tonight? Yeah. We had a short Indian guy, a bisexual black woman, Jewish comics. It's like the United Nations up in here. You guys good? I've done a lot of shows in a lot of places. I do a lot of overseas tours for the troops. Now, I am not in the military, but I learned a lot about it by doing these tours. The main thing that I learned is that you should never go out drinking with the Marines unless you have a death wish. Because those guys are crazy. I went out drinking with some Marines about 6 weeks ago, and I have to be honest, I am still drunk. One guy handed me a shot, he said, "Drink this." I said, "What is it?" "It's jet fuel. It'll make you see God." "Oh, I don't want to see God." Another show I did, a young Marine came up to me, and he was just staggering drunk. And as he wobbled over, he said, "Dude, I am so wasted right now that I can literally piss tequila." I can't believe I fell for it. It tasted nothing like tequila. It kind of tasted like Coors Light. Guys are curious. When I go overseas, I fly commercial, and they have this rule on airplanes that limits the amount of liquid that you can bring on board. You guys know that, right? And a lot of people are bummed out. They're like, "Oh no, what are you going to do? I can't bring my shampoo or my super big gulp." It's a travesty. But I'm the type of person who'll take a bad situation and I'll flip that around. I'll say, "Hey, how can I use this stupid rule to make my life better? How can I take advantage of this?" And I thought about it for a while. And then I remembered that I have a whole bunch of cans of old paint and used motor oil that I can't get rid of. So I take all that shit to the airport. "What do you mean I can't bring my hazardous waste on board?" "Oh, you'll take it? Sweet." "Well, I'll be back next week because I'm due for an oil change." That's what you have to do. I went surfing the other day on the internet, and I read an article that listed the greatest books in American literature. I don't have an English degree, so I like to think I know books. And so I'm looking at the list, and they had all the books you would assume and expect to be on that list. You know, like The Great Gatsby and Catcher in the Rye. But the number one book on this list, according to this website, does anybody know it? The Bible was not originally an American book. I know it's shocking. I know it's shocking. I know. Obviously, it was in English 2,000 years ago. 1,000 years before England was even a country.
No, that so that doesn't.
1,500 years before America was even founded.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think the Bible just missed out. It was not the Bible.
No, but
I must be 101 on the list. According to this website, the greatest books in American literature, the #1 book was Moby Dick. Now, a round of applause. How many people here have ever read Moby Dick? You're all fucking lying. All of you. All three of you who claimed you read it. Maybe you read the Cliff Notes or the Wikipedia page where you saw a movie about it. But nobody read that fucking book. It is 900 pages about how to be a commercial fisherman. The Damned Well, you know, the one the book is named after, doesn't even show up until the very end, like around page 875. That would be like watching all 6 Rocky movies in a row. Only they refilmed them, so Rocky's not even in it. All you see is like some guy training to fight Rocky. You spend like 4 hours just watching him do jumping jacks. 6 hours showing him lace up his gloves. All the while he's saying, I'm gonna get that Rocky. And his trainer's saying, don't do it, you can't beat Rocky. Remember what happened last time? He bit your leg off. You can't do it. You can't beat Rocky. But he tries. For 17 hours and 45 minutes you watch this. And then at the end, this guy finally gets his chance. After he'd been watching this shit for 3 days. This guy gets his chance and he fights Rocky. And Rocky kills him. The end. That is the entire plot of Moby Dick. And if you guys weren't lying, you would know that is 100% true. Another book on that list, the greatest books in American literature, which you may have read, because it's really short, is Walden, My Life in the Woods, by Henry David Thoreau. It's like 150 pages. You can read that. It's, this book was written in the 1830s. And this guy, let's call him Henry David Thoreau, decided that he had enough of all of life's modern conveniences, and he was going to chuck it all and go and live in a cabin in the woods in the 1830s. What kind of modern conveniences was he giving up? And didn't everybody in the 1830s live in a cabin in the woods? This guy wasn't giving up, you know, internet or indoor plumbing or TV or really heating. You know what he's giving up? He's giving up women. That's it. He had like a bad breakup and he's like, that's it. I'm fucking done. I'm gonna go move for a year. I live in the granny flat on my best friend's property. Which is where the house was. I'm not lying. His friend came over, they played poker, they drank beer. It really wasn't that bad. I just think that book's overrated. And I'm beginning to think that maybe you shouldn't trust websites. Maybe the internet is not all right. I think sometimes the internet lies. Not as much as a mechanic, though. Because I had to recently get some car repairs. And I know incredibly little about cars, but to me, $73,000 seems like a lot to spend on a 2000 Chevy Blazer. Is that a lot?
A little.
See, women like to think, you know, oh, mechanics are going to take advantage of me because I'm a girl. No, mechanics don't care what you are. They're going to take care of anybody who doesn't know about cars. And here's how they know that you know nothing about cars. they give you a test. You don't know they're giving you a test.
Empty rubber.
But when I went in, the guys first said, oh yeah, your pilot light's out. And I was like, well, that doesn't sound that bad. And he said, well, it wouldn't be bad if your car was like a 2005 or later model. But the trouble is, in these earlier models, it's a design flaw, and they really weren't thinking much about the pilot light. So we have to take your entire engine out and get some guy to climb down there. And then we gotta put your engine back. And that's like $18,000 right there. And I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds reasonable. I don't know. And when you don't know, they like put you on some list. And so like the next time you go in, they're like, yeah, we're gonna need to order you a new flux capacitor. I'm like, oh, you gotta order one? He's like, yeah. In fact, we can't just ship those things because well, they don't allow us to ship it by itself because of the nuclear radiation. So we're gonna send one of our guys back to China. And he has to carry it in a coolant case. It's a big thing. And I'm like, what? He's like, well, you could try to just call an auto parts store and ask them for a flux capacitor, but they'll probably just laugh at you. They'll probably just laugh at you because everybody knows they can't just store those things. But I live in California, so I need my car. Charge me whatever they want, I need it. That's what credit cards are for. Okay, wow, I got the light already. I haven't even started yet. By the way, the mechanic, the whole thing, brand new bit. No, don't do that. Don't do that. But I do want to say I wrote it as I was performing.
It's even better.
It is. I was like, I'm not sure how it ends. Oh, there's the light. That's how it ends. I'm going to talk about ants before I get out of here.
I love that.
For about 10 minutes. I'm divorced. Yeah. Only once, though. Only once. When I got married, I thought it'd work out because I married my high school sweetheart. Aww. She's graduating next year. So I should have waited for that. When you have a relationship end, you find yourself with a lot of free time. Because time that you spend with another person is now time that you spend by yourself. Just doing really stupid things. Like the other day, I was in my backyard building a life-size replica of the Eiffel Tower out of toothpicks and duct tape. And I noticed a trail of ants. They're going back and forth from a dead bug back to their home. And I was watching them for a while and I was amazed at their strength, their work ethic, their dedication. I was like, wow, these guys are awesome. But then I saw a couple little slacker ants who were hanging out a few feet away, trying to hide in the grass and get out of doing any work. Yeah, those guys. And they pissed me off because everybody else was working their ass off. So what I did was I went to the house and I got a pair of tweezers. And I came back outside and I picked those slacker ants up and I put them back in line and back to work with everybody else. And then I said, loud enough for them to hear me. I said, that would show you guys not to slack off when everybody else is working. But then I had a horrible thought. What if they weren't slacking off? What if they're actually the hardest working ants in the whole colony? And maybe the queen ant said, you guys worked quite hard. take the rest of the week off. So they're not slacking. They're like on a little ant vacation. They're relaxing. I don't know, maybe that's where ants go. And I just fucked it up. I ruined their entire vacation plans. Because you wouldn't like it if you were at some beach somewhere, drinking a nice cold pina colada, and saying to yourself, wow, this is great. I really needed a break. Work has been kicking my ass. And then a giant pair of tweezers comes out of the sky and picks you up and throws you back at your desk. That'll piss you off, right? So I wanted to find these guys and I wanted to put them back on vacation. But I couldn't because they all look the same. So what I decided to do was take a couple of different ants. Because I figured that would be cool if you're at your desk and you're working really hard. And then a giant pair of tweezers comes out of the sky and picks you up and throws you on some beach somewhere. That would be pretty awesome, right? So I picked the first guy up and I put him on vacation. And then I picked the second guy up and he bit me. Yeah, little bastard bit me. And I shook him off because he startled me and he did a couple of flips and he landed back in line with everybody else. And I wanted to get him because you should never bite the hand of the guy holding a giant pair of tweezers trying to put you on vacation. Everybody knows that. But I couldn't find him because they all look the same. So what I did was, I killed everybody. And the moral of that story, there's a moral. The moral of that story is, my ex-wife is a whore. Thanks a lot, man. Eugene, thank you.
All right, everybody, that's our show. Thank you for coming. So, what the hell? Rick G needs all the attention again because he never had time.